Welcome back. So, last time we talked about comparison, how it is a simple thing that is ruining your life. And we talked about how to change it into a positive type of comparison, because as you said, comparison is an emotion that we cannot control. And the main thing that we discussed is we discussed how sometimes we compare ourselves because we are not putting in effort to work on ourselves or because we do not have something that necessarily grabs our attention within our own life. That's why we end up focusing on other people's lives. So, today it's going to be a friendly talk about how someone can work on themselves. How can you discover yourself? How can you be whoever you want to be? See, the problem is with this particular type of topic is that many of us, unfortunately, we are not all born under lucky circumstances. And sometimes when you have easy circumstances around you, it's a lot easier to work on yourself. And by these circumstances, I mean that let's say you have the bare minimum in life, you have a great family, you have a house, you're able to spend on whatever you need, and you get your education, and your life is chill. There's not a lot of surprises in it. So, usually individuals who are living within this type of life, it's a lot easier for them to focus on themselves because not necessarily, of course, because as I said before, that no one's life is perfect and we all have some sort of conflict that we deal with. If it's not financially, it could be health wise. If it's not health wise, it could be family wise. So because we all know that everyone has their own secrets behind closed doors. But if we're talking about this general type of life, let's say, it's a lot easier to focus on yourself because there's not necessarily anything that is hogging up space in your brain. There's not a problem that's constantly within your brain that needs attention, So it's it makes it a lot easier for you to understand who you are, what you like, and if you have, let's say, a normal type of outings, you go out with your friends regularly and they give you a lot of feedback about who you are, so it's easier to discover yourself. So let's say in these situations, you can definitely, it's also a lot easier for you to try new things because one of the ways where you can focus on yourself and what you like, what you are meant to do, is to go out and try new things. And generally, when you have, as I said, that type of life, it's a lot easier to do that. So, where does the problem lie sometimes in focusing on ourselves is when we don't have that type of life. And what do I mean by that? Sharing a personal story, I'm the type of person that has the type of life that I'm grateful for. I have my basic needs, I have whatever I want, and God has blessed me with the ability to pursue this dream right now. So I am luckier than most people around me, but I also have that type of conflict within my life. I have that conflict that I'm always uncertain. And I think that's one of the reasons why I got so comfortable with being uncertain and about the future, especially when there's a lot of things in within my own life that always happen in the exact opposite, exact opposite of my plan. So I got used to being uncertain. And also, funny enough, there are certain situations in my life where I have a surprise every single day. I hear a different news every single day, and there's a lot of things that are not necessarily set in my life, and they're actually one of the inspirations why I'm pursuing this dream right now is to help people out there who feel this way. Sometimes when you are living this type of life, the best way is to find an inspiration that will kind of lead you out of that life. And for being practical about it, I myself am pursuing this type of technique. Um, I'm focusing on myself and working on myself because not necessarily because I want to change my life, but it's because I want to create a life that I want. And recently, with all the events happening in my life and all the projects that I decided to pursue, they are kind of the guide that God blessed me with, from every prayer that I did every night and, constant ask for guidance. And somehow these ideas popped up, and here I am, you know? So I think the best advice I can give to a person right now, if you want to focus on yourself, but you don't have that perfect life, I think the first thing you should do is again, acknowledge what is wrong, let's say, with your life. Because, despite, having conflict within our lives, despite us, as I said, we have to get comfortable with that idea because life is that way. It's not perfect. There's always some type of conflict, but there are certain things in life that you can change. You can make them better. And that's the key here, is it's that you identify your life. What is it about it that you wish to change and you wish to have? And if it's applicable and it can be changed, then that's when you start pursuing that path. That's when you start writing down ideas. That's why you ask for guidance. That's when you look for people to mentor you. That's why you look on the internet, you ask your friends, whoever you have in your life that can help you with that. And if you don't have anyone to help you, then you have yourself. You know what I mean? We are a lot more capable than we think, but again, because we have self-doubts and we have fears and we have confusion, like, do I actually want this, do I not want this? So because we get so caught up in these demons in our heads that sometimes we start a lot of projects but we end up leaving them behind. But I'm here to tell you that everyone has these demons, everyone deals with them, and it's a lot easier than you think. The main aspect of pursuing what you want is that you need to have that discipline, that you shouldn't let these demons in your head get to you. You shouldn't let this self-doubt and fear get to you, because it's hard. It's hard at the beginning, but when you finally have that passion and you have that motivation that I deserve better, I know I can make a better life for myself, I know I'm capable of pursuing these things, and actually constantly tell yourself positive affirmations. Definitely your life is negative. There's a lot of things wrong with it. There's no denying with that, and you need to acknowledge that. And you wouldn't be human if you didn't acknowledge that. Because that type of thinking of, being in la la land, let's say, that my life is perfect, and that constant thinking that no, despite everything, it's kind of good. It's okay to be grateful, but do not get lost in this aspect of just being complacent, let's say, because if you are complacent within your life situation right now, then you won't have any type of guidance. There isn't any type of, let's say, steps that will be sent to you from God to lead you to that better life. You know what I mean? And you don't have to necessarily, as I said, hate your life. You can be a grateful person, but sometimes really that life around you, when it's just so complicated, there's just a lot of tough situations, and you know that there is some ways to change that, but because you're afraid of being identified as ungrateful, or because you're afraid that I am not capable of it, because I am not, deserving of it, or I should just accept what was decreed for me, you really miss out on a lot of potential within your own life, and you miss out on a lot of things that will make for you a better life. And it's okay to want that. It's okay to have this passion and this fire within you that I do want better for myself and I need to get better for myself. Unfortunately, as I said, because you feel like you're undeserving, so you ignore the ideas of working on yourself or focusing on yourself because of the negative situations around you. And these do take a toll on our mental health. These things do take a lot of our energy, and sometimes things get so bad to the point that we kind of lose hope, like, will they get better? Sometimes when you even work on yourself and you start doing certain things, you will be like, will this work actually pay off? And these doubts are completely normal. We all go through them, even the ones who are right now. Let's say if you have a role model who's very successful, I'm 100% sure that they went through that phase in their lives. But what made them different, what made them reach what they want, is because they didn't let this doubt get in their head. And that's what I mean by the demons within us. That you don't let these demons control your life. Now, going back a bit, although, as I said, your life may be negative and it makes it a lot harder to focus on yourself, you need to find something that will constantly drive you towards making a better life for yourself. Find out whatever it is in your life that is negative, let's say, and as I said, it can be changed. Use that as a drive within yourself, because the ugly truth is that us humans sometimes are more motivated by negative things than positive things. It's something within our nature and we can't deny it. And I believe a lot of people around me, and I believe a lot of people definitely around you, they do want success because of a negative situation in their life, or they do want to live that type of life because of a negative situation in their life. So it's fine to have a negative motive to become who you want to be. Let's say right now you identified that motive as a person, let's say, who does not have a perfect life. Now, once you identified that, you have to research what ways do you need in order to get over that negative thing in your life. So part of it is practical, looking into the ways online in real life. What am I supposed to do to get to where I want? But the actual work is the inner work. You need to fully lock in within yourself. You need to sit down with yourself, really identify what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want, and don't be ashamed in writing goals that are not necessarily defined as successful, because right in here right now what we're talking about, it's not necessarily as successful of being someone that's, let's say, very well known, having a lot of possessions, whatever. I mean that it can be a dream that is as simple as having a family that is all together, having a great 9 to 5, and having a great routine and slow mornings. These are also successful goals. There's because there's no definition for success. That idea of society that you're supposed to be this person or you're supposed to have that, it's a completely untrue idea, as we mentioned in our previous video. So really sit down, write what you want without defining it as right or wrong. Do not be influenced by the routines or the winning activities that you see either on social media or the people around you, because when you focus on yourself and you want to work on yourself, then you have to know who you are. You have to know what's within you, and you have to lock in into that drive and who you are within you. And this inner work is the work that it's going to lead you to wherever you want to be in life. You have to either heal from a past trauma. You have to try as much as you can to heal from a past trauma, whether that's through meditation, talking about it with someone that is close to you, or putting yourself in situations that helps you heal from that trauma. It could be an exercise, it could be painting, it could be whatever thing that can help heal that trauma. For example, I always had that trauma within me that I can't talk about myself with anyone. And I healed that idea by pursuing what I'm doing right now. I want to be that person for other people. I want to help you. I want to be your comfort place. So truly find any type of activity that can help you get away and heal from that trauma. And the next thing you need to do, you really need to let go of planning ahead. Do not plan for more than 1 year. Do not burn out yourself as well. Do not get too excited to the point you're doing many things at once and you end up not putting your 100%. So you end up falling behind, actually. So when you write what you like and what you want and you start drawing up your path, to become the action plan towards focusing on yourself and becoming who you want to be, make sure you also understand you have a certain level of productivity and energy to put into these activities. So once you identify that, that's when you can start putting in these activities. There's no denying. Sometimes you need to put yourself in situations where you can test that limit, you can push it further, but you have to train it. So take the time to train it before you start doing more than one thing. Another thing about the inner work, you have to always say to yourself that I can do it. That's a magical phrase, because that phrase, it's kind of a promise to yourself. Because you decided to take that step, you know right now you are willing to do it, that you can do it no matter what is happening around you. I won't deny that sometimes really it is hard to find the thing that resonates with you, that you can find it as an escape from whatever you're going through right now. We do not want to generalize focusing on yourself as being an escape. No, focusing on yourself is always to become a better version of yourself. And at the end of the day, no matter what is the outcome from it, you will become a changed person. Your personality, your mindset, you will always become better when you pursue yourself and when you start working on yourself. So let's try to get away from the idea of an escape, but it's not wrong if you want to escape. It's not wrong that there's a certain aspect of your life you need to get away from, and you have the ability to change it. So right now, just as you are getting rid of the type of comparison that you have in your life and you start focusing on yourself, just as we understood now the part of being away from comparison and that you need to focus on yourself to actually get away from comparison, make a promise to yourself that you will never give up. You know, even if the results are slow, there is momentum that is building up. You are going through that path that is going to lead you where you are meant to be. Always have faith in yourself, the people around you, the dream you have. Know that it is a set of stairs that you have to climb. You know, your personality, it's going to go through phases. You're going to have breakdowns, you're going to have good days, you're going to have motivation, you're going to be burnt out at some point. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you still get up every day and you try. Because all of us in this life, we deserve having something better if you're not living through it already. It's okay to be grateful and it's okay to be complacent. But if you are a person that wants to change their life, there's nothing wrong with it. Go through that phase of focusing on yourself, lock in completely, and watch your life change. Stay tuned for the next video on Friday, and I'll see you next time.